Did you know that only 7% of our viewers are actually subscribed? We love creating content for you and want to keep doing it, but we need your support to grow our channel so we can make ends meet. So, if you enjoy our videos and want to see more, please consider subscribing and liking our videos. Thanks for your support. Hi, Arek here from Cycle Maintenance Academy. Today we're going to have a look at how to replace an old school bottom bracket, also called a cup and cone bottom bracket, and if it's possible to replace it with a sealed cartridge bottom bracket. Excited? Then let's begin! Servicing a cup and cone bottom bracket is an important part of bike maintenance. By keeping the cups and spindle clean and lubricated, you can ensure that your bike's bottom bracket runs smoothly and efficiently. And if you're looking for a simpler maintenance solution, consider replacing your cup and cone bottom bracket with a cartridge bottom bracket. Cup and cone bottom bracket anatomy. A cup and cone bottom bracket consists of fixed cup. The drive side cup and cone bottom bracket cup is a threaded component that screws into the right side of the bottom bracket shell. Adjustable cup. The adjustable cup on the non-drive side of the bottom bracket is a threaded component that screws into the bottom bracket shell on the left-hand side of the bicycle frame. Bottom bracket axle. The bottom bracket axle is a component of a bicycle's drivetrain that connects the cranks to the bicycle frame. Bottom bracket axles come in various lengths, and each has a unique code engraved on the axle. These codes are explained in our article here. Some old school bottom bracket axles are asymmetric. This means that the drive side spindle section is longer than the non-drive side. When replacing the spindle, make sure that the longer section of the axle is on the drive side. Two sets of ball bearings. They are the components of the bicycle bottom bracket that allow the bottom bracket axle to rotate smoothly within the bottom bracket shell of the frame. They can be either loose ball bearings or cage ball bearings, and are 1/4 inch in size. There are 11 loose ball bearings in each bottom bracket cup. Lock ring. The cup and cone bottom bracket lock ring is a threaded component that screws onto the adjustable cup on the non-drive side. Tools required to remove and fit cup and cone bottom bracket. Fixed cup wrench. This tool fits the 36mm flats on the fixed cup on the drive side of the bike. To remove the fixed cup, fit the tool onto the flats so that you can unscrew it clockwise. Lock ring spanner. This tool is equipped with a hook that fits into the lock ring slots on the non-drive side of the bike. To remove the lock ring, fit the hook in the slot so that you can undo it anti-clockwise. Adjustable cup spanner. The tool fits on the 16mm flats of the adjusting cup on the non-drive side. To remove the cup, fit the tool so that you can unscrew the adjustable cup anti-clockwise. Pin spanner. Some older adjustable cups have holes and the pins of the spanner fit into them. To remove the adjustable cup, slot the pins in the pinholes so that you can unscrew the cup anti-clockwise. Other useful tools. Crank extractor. 14mm socket spanner or 8mm Allen key. Adjustable spanner. Flathead screwdriver. Grease or anti-seize. Cloth or paper towel. Preparation. Put the bike in a stand. If you have a bike with front gears, then move the chain onto the smallest chainring. If you have a bike with hub gears or a single speed, then use a 15mm spanner to undo the rear wheel nuts. And move the wheel in the dropouts to slacken the chain. Remove the chain from the chainring and rest it on the bottom bracket shell. If you have crank dust caps, then use a flathead screwdriver to remove them. Using a 14mm socket spanner or 8mm Allen key, remove the crank bolts anti-clockwise. Before you can screw the crank extractor into the crank, make sure that the bolt part does not stick out of the nut part. Now, using your hand, gently screw the crank extractor in the crank arm on the drive side. If the tool is not screwing in, then don't force it, as you may damage the thread. Once the tool is in place, use the adjustable spanner to tighten the nut part of the extractor tool. Now, with your hand, screw the bolt part of the extractor. Hold the crank in one hand and using an adjustable spanner, screw the crank extractor clockwise until the crank comes out. Now remove the left-hand crank arm. Now measure the axle length. Double check this measure, as the axles differ from each other only by a few millimeters, and it is important to get the exact replacement. Removing cup and cone bottom bracket. First, remove the lock ring on the non-drive side. Fit the lock ring spanner in the lock ring slot and undo it anti-clockwise. Once loose, remove it from the adjustable cup. Now slot the pins of the pin spanner in the pin holes on the adjustable cup, or fit the adjustable cup spanner on the raised 16mm flats and unscrew it anti-clockwise. Remove the adjustable cup and the axle. Fit the fixed cup spanner on a 36mm flats on the fixed cup on the drive side of the bike and unscrew it clockwise. Once loose, remove it from the bottom bracket shell. Clean the threads in the bottom bracket shell. Servicing and refitting cup and cone bottom bracket. Remove the bearings from the bottom bracket cups and clean the cups. Bearings. And axle. Check the bearings, the axle and cups for wear, and if required, replace them. Add some grease to the bottom bracket cups. Place the bearings in the cups and add a bit of grease on the top of the bearings. Apply a small amount of grease or anti-seize to the threads in the bottom bracket shell. Grasp the fixed cup in your hand and gently screw it anti-clockwise into the bottom bracket shell on the drive side. Once in place, using the fixed cup spanner, tighten it anti-clockwise. Place the axle in the bottom bracket shell. Now grab the adjustable cup and gently screw it clockwise into the bottom bracket shell on the non-drive side. Use the adjustable cup spanner to tighten the adjustable bearing cup clockwise until there is no play in the axle, but it can spin freely. Using your hand, fit the lock ring. Fit the lock ring spanner and the adjustable cup spanner. Tighten the lock ring clockwise, making sure that the adjustable cup stays in place. Check if the axle spins freely and that there's no play. If required, loosen the lock ring and adjust the adjustable bearing cup until you're happy, and retighten the lock ring. Once the bottom bracket is secured, you can reinstall the crankset. We have a great video here to help you with fitting crank arms. If required, refit the crank dust caps. Place the chain on the chain ring. For single speed and hub gear bikes, retension the chain. Our video here will guide you through this task. Replacing cup and cone bottom bracket with cartridge bottom bracket. First, make sure that the new cartridge bottom bracket is the same size. For bottom bracket shells with British thread, choose the 68mm cartridge option. Check that the cartridge bottom bracket axle is the same length as the old one. You will also need a 20-tooth spline bottom bracket tool to install the new bottom bracket. Fit the bottom bracket unit on the drive side. Screw it gently with your hand anti-clockwise until it sits in the bottom bracket shell. Fit the 20-tooth spline tool and using an adjustable spanner, tighten the bottom bracket unit. Repeat the process on the non-drive side, remembering that the bottom bracket cup screws in clockwise. Fit the cranks and the chain. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let me know in the comments below how you got on replacing your old school bottom bracket. You can also help us to grow this channel by becoming our patron. You can find more details below this video. Thanks, and see you next time!